Linda, hi Christy and the guys I have met from InfusionCon.
Okay.
I'm a relatively new ICP, certified partner. I've been using Infusionsoft for 6 years for my own businesses, and I'm pretty flat out with a range of stuff that we're doing at the moment, launching new apps and new programs. But we're an online marketer and mail order business. So yeah, and we are, and now other business we're a franchise office. So yeah, a lot of experience in the old stuff and just still getting my head around the camp and building myself. So yeah, that's me. Thanks, Richard.
There we go. Yeah. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Peter Morrissey.
Thanks. There we go.
If you haven't read the agenda today, Peter was here a few months ago, was here last month as well, I think, and he was quite inspired by Linda's method in using no templates. As a result of that learning, he implemented his own in his business. So he's going to share with us what he's done and what impact it's had. So Pete, just tell everyone what your business
Thanks,
is
Richard.
in a bit more detail.
Yep. Hi, Peter Morrissey. I've been an entrepreneur since about 18 and still trying different things to do different things. That's what entrepreneurs do, and we don't stop changing. I started using Infusionsoft I started loading it up in December, started using it in January 20th this year, and I've been using it since. We are a business-to-business company. We deal with companies, and what Linda said earlier about companies, there's a difference between dealing with businesses and dealing with individuals when it comes to Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft was built on the back of dealing with individuals as opposed to companies, and you start to learn some of those things when you're dealing with business to business. So we effectively use the system to generate, to collect the information from the websites initially. Someone fills in a form showing some interest in what we do, and then from the time that inquiry comes in, we start to manage that with Infusionsoft right through to when they become a customer, and then after they become a customer, we have that referral process for trying to generate more customers. This is one of our websites. This is for visitor management and people just visitor and contractor management. We have customers all over the world. We're based in Sydney, and our customer base goes from New Zealand to the US and Canada. And one thing we've learned, and Infusionsoft has helped us do that in other systems before Infusionsoft, is we've learned how to sell to business over the telephone without meeting a customer face to face. So we make transactions with customers around the world that can go $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. I'm getting some feedback here from somebody's Skype message. Something's happening there. There we go.
The library Wi-Fi is too slow, so it's going through my Wi-Fi.
Oh, is it? Okay. So we've learned how to sell to customers over the telephone without meeting people face to face, and there's a real art and a skill in that. Infusionsoft really helps us take that to the next level, being able to do that. So that's a little bit about what we do. Tonight we're going to talk about notes. Linda inspired me. Every meeting I've come to, I really do try and grab on one thing and go, that's the thing that is really going to be my challenge for this month, and see if it has an impact on my business. Time Trade, I can't remember who introduced Time Trade, the calendar booking system. Whoever introduced that, I implemented it. We now have 13 Time Trade calendars that manage all the bookings in the company, save our admin staff 2 hours a day. It's just incredible. So that's a calendar booking system, came out of one of these meetings, and really saves our admin staff a couple of hours a day in booking appointments. I know there's lots of different systems out there. So when we had the meeting about notes, Linda mentioned, Linda only spoke about it maybe for a couple of minutes, said that she'd done a couple of hundred notes in her system, and she did this to help the people or to help make a better system, to make it faster, make it easier, and to give less opportunity for people to maybe do multiple things, just to speed up the process. So talking about someone having 200 of something, I go, there's got to be something in that. There must be something in having so many notes. So I had to go home and research what's notes. So of course you go and Google it, and then you start watching some videos on notes, and then you start creating some notes. Just before I go into it, notes for me, I tried to do this before Windows had things like, you could start up your machine and make your calendar pop up, and you could make Microsoft Excel pop up, and I think they called it the start menu. You could do those types of things. I'm not a techie. And these things you could load in, and these programs will pop up. Well, before those things were invented, you could use tools that allowed you to record your keystrokes with your mouse. You could go and do a couple of things and then record that as a macro, and then make the system repeat that process. Notes is just like that. Notes is about helping you get rid of repeatable tasks, simple repeatable tasks. So some examples I'll go through shortly are, we use this to, if a customer says they'd like a demonstration of our software, before I knew about Notes, we would go into the customer's profile, we'd go and click on the email link, we'd go and bring up the draft email, we'd go and maybe bring up our template, we might add some more notes, or we might just send that from that process. Even such a simple thing as sending an email, there were 6 or 7 steps, just from the time you took that phone call. A note is click, click. That's it. So as soon as you start introducing more things, like for us, we deal with businesses, we need to create a proposal for a customer. All of a sudden now we've got to do a whole lot more than just a couple of clicks. We need to create the proposal. We need to create in Infusionsoft, we need to create an opportunity with all the pieces that belong to the opportunity. We've got some items that might have 6 or 7 things that go in the opportunity. Every one of these is a click. And notes for me are about saving the clicks. And that's how we've used them. So we'll just go in and have a bit of a look. Hopefully that's a bit of an explanation. Oh, sorry, that's some of our customers. I had that there so you can see some of our recent customers. Most of these customers we picked up all over the world. Unilever is rolling our product out across the globe, and we started in Canada. We've never met them. And that's about the system we have behind what we do.
How did they find you, Peter?
They found us through the internet. We do a lot of blogging and some Google marketing, some AdWords, those types of things, and that's how people come in. And then, of course, they start comparing us against everybody else, which is what the world does today.
Which one has the biggest impact on it, response-wise? What medium?
Oh, it's probably 50-50. We spend a fair bit on Google AdWords. At times I've spent $250,000 a year on Google AdWords. I don't spend that much at the moment because the organic's really kicked in. And you know, when the organic kicks in, it's nice. It makes a difference. SEO is great, and I still do Google AdWords, and I still spend a lot.
How much is your product?
For a single, it's a by location product. So for a single location, it might be $3,000. For multiple locations, you could spend $50,000, $60,000 across the globe, depending on how many locations you have. Okay, so we'll go into here we go. So here's some examples of some notes. This is, now one thing I've learned is I've actually put my notes inside my campaign, and I've realised that when I'm putting, you can see here, I've put someone into a pocket clock starter package requesting a proposal. It's actually, for those that don't understand, this is the person in the program, this is the person in the program that's run out of information, so there's nothing to send them. These people are sitting here waiting for more information. Well, I don't have more information to send to them. I actually created a note, so this is a work in progress is what I'm trying to say. I created a note to get some information to this customer about a proposal. They've gone in here, but what I should have is this note in a notes campaign, not in the campaign itself, because I'm actually pulling them out of the campaign and they're being forced into notes. Does that make sense for those people that know campaigns? No?
I don't think you need to do that. You can keep it in the campaign and extend it, surely.
But if my campaign's up here, let me just remember how this works. If my campaign's up here, see the notes are below. My campaign's up here. Here's some details about
Whoa.
Nice spiderweb.
It all makes sense to me. It's pretty basic. We collect an inquiry. We try and get them into a demonstration of our product. We move them through a demonstration, and we move them through into whether they're waiting payment, waiting stock, or they've made a sale or we've lost a sale. So it's not too complex in what it does. But if I have the note over here in the same program, I think, where's my notes?
All you need is an end goal on the end of that sequence to move it into a new program.
So I might be doing that not quite right, and that's okay. That's all.
No. One more step.
I'm still a work in progress. So yeah, I've got to do something here because I know it's not quite right.
Unless you know how many there are and who they are. That's
yeah.
They're not lost.
So effectively we create the note. There's a couple of things to create the note. First of all, we'll go in and have a look how the notes work against the profile of a person. Let me just, how do I open that again? I'm not in edit, thank you. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, it is.
There we go, okay. So we'll just go down here to the notes. And so here's an example, we'll just double click. So this is just creating the initial note. so that we know in the profile of the contact what to draw on. So this is designed so that anybody in our office can draw on this one here, proposal, Job Clock X starter pack. So this customer wants a proposal for a Job Clock X starter package, and that's just one of our products. Now, before we created this note, we'd go into the profile of the customer, we'd write some notes, we'd task an admin person in our office to start creating the proposal. They'd create the proposal, and then they'd pass it back, they'd create the opportunity, add all the items. If there's 6 or 7 items in an opportunity, they'd spend a couple of minutes creating the opportunity. We've replaced that whole process with 2 clicks, and it's instant. Opportunity created, note sent to task to admin staff to create the proposal. So there's a whole heap of things we do behind the scenes here. So we have to create this bit first, which is the proposal, which is the note, I'm sorry. Once the note's created, we then create what do we want it to do, and it's very simple. So we start here. This is the note that goes to admin. When this is created, please read the open task to complete proposal and pass back. So when a customer asks for a proposal from us, we take some notes from that conversation. There's other notes already in the system, and the admin staff will go in and read those notes to create the proposal the way it needs to be created. So that's just a little note that pops out to the staff member.
Does anyone know the difference between, he's talking about notes and note templates, does anyone know the difference there? Not confusing anyone?
They work exactly the same. Note templates is based on legacy. So you're better to do this system than the one I showed you. You're better to use what Peter's set up than the one I showed you, because ours, even though it's now modern and you can still do it, it's based on the old legacy action sets. So you're better off with this.
So here we create a tag. Of course, everybody that knows tags loves tags, and tags are important because if I know that this customer has requested a proposal, and I can put them into other information. Here where we create the opportunity, for us, this is a big one for us. Creating the opportunity was a huge time saver. All these other little bits and pieces are fantastic, and we might save admin staff 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes for every proposal. We put out a lot of proposals. So these 12 minutes all add up for our company. We don't just do one a day, and they all add up. So here, we're putting them straight into an opportunity stage. We're giving them a bundle. We had to create a bundle that is the items that are included in this package, and I'll show you what that all means when we create one. So it automatically creates the opportunity and adds the items that we've created in that bundle. So there's a little bit of setup here, but once you set up, if you're doing this 100 times a month, this really has an impact. And opportunity, and this is a little flag I put on the customer profile. When we look at the contact, and we can see the notes and details that we put there. I like to put this one here, opportunity created automatically with product bundle. This is me saying to the girls, saved you a bit more time. Pete's a great guy, right? And
Did they realise it or not?
if you ask them, they might agree with that. I'm not sure. So look, that's a little bit about a very, very simple sequence that goes behind the scenes here. Now what happens is, we'll go over here. I think I've got a dummy one here. Here's a dummy. Have I got a company? General test company. How do I get? I want the company. Sorry, just bear with me. I'm just looking for a contact. I'll just create it. Just bring up a contact here. So I've just got a dummy one here, so I can do this for real and show you what I mean. Contact Pete test. There we go. So you're in your contact. You're talking to them on the phone, and for us, this is what happens. I'd love to get a proposal. We've been through the demonstration. I'd love to get a proposal, and that process I talked about would have taken the office 12 to 14 minutes to process. And now we just simply come down. Once I work out how this mouse. There we go. We come down to notes, and we go. What are we doing here? Okay, we're doing a proposal. Let me just scroll this up. So this is a Job Clock EX starter package. So I just click on this one. I just click on this one here. One click, and I add note. That note, and we'll just have a look in a moment. That note has done what we've just done has created the task for the admin staff to create the proposal. They've already got a template. We've added some notes into our task that they read to finalise that proposal. It's created the opportunity for the customer. It's applied the tag. A whole heap of things that saves a bit of time. So if I go to opportunities, just for this one, we'll just have a look. And there we go. There's an opportunity. This is what this has done automatically that we would previously have done manually. How many people use opportunities? Just out of curiosity. There's not many, I know. Yeah.
Most.
Yeah. So this is what it's created. Every one of those is a line item that we used to add manually, one at a time. And that just from doing this once, setting up once, we've used this hundreds of times to get the people into the process with the automation.
So what's the difference if you had applied a tag to trigger this automation?
No difference.
Right.
It's just the tags automatically called no templates manual.
Right.
What's the difference between, I don't know, from a
If
tag?
you just applied a tag, could trigger this whole thing as well.
It could have.
I could have, but that's going to be like 3 or 4 clicks. I'm a click man. This is 2 clicks. I mean, why would you bother with a tag? That's 4 clicks.
It's much more user friendly to use no templates for someone that isn't in Infusionsoft every day.
Yeah.
So if you
No,
have
but
a
for somebody
telesales
using My Day, it's
Yeah.
easy with the note templates. Especially if they're a salesperson on the phone, they can see what came before. They just choose a note and everything happens.
See,
you don't
these
need
are-
to
these are-
teach them anything.
These are different people. Let me just, I mean, that's a great question, but let me, once I work out this mouse again.
I think Linda's right as well. Like, people really underestimate that notes tell a story down the page, which is, you can look at it straight away, but tags, because you can only see the first few characters unless you go to the tag tab, and they're not necessarily in order and they're organised by category, it's hard to see a timeline of that customer.
Let me show you this one about the tag. I hear what you're saying, but I know my staff, and I've got to go, can you add a tag? Right? I go, can you add a tag?
Yeah, exactly.
And they go, what?
I know. You've got to teach them too much.
Right? This is too, I've got that, or we come back here, and we've got, they love notes.
Do you have this trigger off the actual quote
Or they come in,
proposal email to
they
go
come
out?
in here, what makes more sense?
Yeah.
Okay, what's easier for them to understand? This is much easier. I know tags, I can search a tag, I know my tags in my head, and I can grab a tag. They don't know the tags. There's too many tags, there's already, I don't know how many tags, I mean, there's already thousands of tags, and it's too many.
Peter,
So-
in your sequence with the note template, do you not actually then attach that proposal to the email and send it as part of the note template?
No, because I personally send each one.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we even go to that step.
Yeah, no,
Send the email.
I'm not doing that far. I
Because you've got the accept and
like
decline on it.
Yeah, look, at the moment we send them manually, so we don't do that step. But part of this is you inspired me to create notes. I had no notes the day I had that meeting, and now look what we've done already
Wow, it's huge.
in a short period of time. And I'd love other people talking about notes, so I can get some more ideas about how we can use these to make things better. So our customers, and we can see on the screen here, go through a process of, we'll do a demonstration. So when a customer says, can we have a demonstration, this is what we used to do. Yeah, I want a demonstration. Great, no worries. I'll just put you through to Kathy. Kathy goes, oh hi, we've got these 3 dates available. Oh, okay, I'll get back to you. You wait. And you wait. And then they call back and go, oh, we can't do those 3 dates. Have you got another date? And you wait. This is, booking appointments was horrendous. Just getting people to communicate. We introduced time trade, and now we go, you want a demonstration? Not a problem. Let's go and do this one here. Next available, add note. I've just sent that person a link. Now I could go and grab the email and do that whole process, but in 2 clicks, we've just sent them a link. We've tagged the customer, sent them a link that said, go to this calendar and book in the demonstration with time trade. They book in themselves now. Every morning we open up our emails and there's all these appointments. People have booked their own demonstrations with time trade. Sorry, yep.
So with the note templates, you can only apply it to a single contact at a time. If you wanted to do multiple contacts, send a proposal to multiple
You can
contacts,
do
what do you
multiple
want?
contacts too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've not done multiple. I only do one.
You select them all in the interactive list, and then there's a drop down the top left, which is actions. And you just apply no template.
Apply note. Okay.
The top line says actions, apply an action set. And you do it through legacy actions, yeah.
So coming back to here. Really, I'll just maybe just open up to some questions. That was, that's all. There's a lot behind what we've done, and our main area where we've saved all our time is in these areas for us with people doing trials, people doing demonstrations, and the proposals. Proposals are a big one. Now the girls have introduced in the office training, so we do training, and of course the same process happens with training as in trying to book in a demonstration. Trying to get a time is horrendous. And this whole time trade integration, and time trade is not part of this, we just use time trade as the vehicle to get these demonstrations and training sessions booked. And the amount of it's a couple of hours a day it saved the office internally that we don't spend anymore because we use time trade for booking these appointments.
And it must progress things much more quickly as well.
Absolutely, because there's none of this toing and froing. You can have a week of going back and forwards, just trying to hone in on a day. You send the calendar out, the next morning it's booked because they've got 3 people together, they've had their conversations, and all of a sudden they're sending it back. So yeah. So
is there any benefit with that for cancellation? So when people
there's an automation process behind the cancellations as well. Yeah. And they can even go in and change the date. If they select a date and then a day later they decide to change it, they can go in through and change the date.
Do they do that via time trade?
Time trade, yeah, time trade manages that. I looked at a couple. I think time trade was. We had some complexity. We're trying to book we don't have one product, and I think there's quite a few calendars out there that deal with one product nicely. We had a problem where we've got 5 products doing 5 different types of demonstrations for different people, so we need a calendar for each product. But if someone takes a time slot at 2 o'clock on calendar 1 and on the person, and I also do calendar 2, calendar 3, as soon as calendar 1's taken, I needed 2 and 3 to disappear. And that's what time trade does. It does it very clever. So that's why it fell into being a good product for us.
Yeah, what time trade product plan did you sign up for? What plan?
Not
Was it
sure.
I guess what I'm asking is that one of the free plan, or did you have to pay for it?
Oh no, we had to pay for it, but it was like $200 a year. Get out of here! Are you kidding? these guys are nuts.
That's crazy.
You've got to have time fusion if you're using one of the, because they've got 3 levels I think in time trade. So if you're using one of the lower levels,
spot on.
time fusion links it.
We're a couple $100. Time fusion I think was $70 a month or $60 a month.
Somewhere there, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even used that yet. We're still doing that.
The
that
free
last
version.
Yeah, no, we're on $200 a year. It's not free.
On time fusion.
Yeah, there's a cost.
There's a 6-month trial period, and then after.
Not
the
sure.
6
We paid a
months-
couple $100. Yeah. But for the couple of hours a
Why
day.
you use time fusion?
Well, I use time fusion to book my client appointments. So they come in and it just triggers a sequence of just some reminders.
What
and
does
stuff
that
like
integrate with Infusionsoft, does it?
Yeah.
You've got time trade talking to time fusion, which talks to Infusionsoft.
Time fusion
It's an
is a
integrator.
API for time trade.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's a
so
third
you-
party,
Yeah.
The
So
other
what's
option
the
is
API?
appointment core, and the difference is appointment core integrates directly. You just put in your API key, and the nice thing is appointment core will pick up all your custom fields and put people into Infusionsoft and give them tags if you like, and you can have different tags for different meetings. So, Jake and I use it. I think it's $27 a month, but we have like 6 people a day booking meetings with us, so it's well worth it.
Appointment call.
Yeah, appointment core is like the most tightly integrated version, but they're all much less.
What
No,
you use
it's
that
not.
instead of time trade?
Appointment core is pretty horrible with multiple calendars.
Yeah,
Multiple
that's where
people.
a lot of those products fall over.
This is where it won't do what Peter's using time trade for.
I like the sound of
That's
time
it.
trade.
Yeah.
Time trade's very clever. It just has some things that 20 others didn't, because they're all built on dealing with individuals. I don't deal with individuals.
It looks horrible.
Yes.
What's that?
They're using
Nice.
For time trade?
Yeah, it looks horrible.
Yeah, I don't go so much.
Have you put, do your reps have left message, when you're ringing people and they're not there and you leave a message? Well, we've got the sequence of LM1, LM2, LM3, did not leave message, left message with gatekeeper or left message on mobile voicemail. And I reckon that the people that called us back from a cold to warm call was about 1% before, and now by just having an email fire off to, oh hi Peter, I just called and left a message, if you get a moment can you call me back on this number, I reckon we get about 25% callbacks now. Just from the note template.
Now I've got another
implemented that from you.
Absolutely, it's the best thing ever.
And it's amazing. It does work.
People call you back,
Yeah,
or they email you back and say, oh, thanks for your email, can't talk to you today, but do you mind if I call you tomorrow?
And actually
Yes?
actually add to that, I go into the customer profile and I grab their phone number, their mobile number, and I send them a text on them.
As well.
So
You
they
can
get a text from me and they get but a text that
You
Oh,
can
I
do
see.
a note template to a text. So we do that, tried to call little text messages.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that to a cold call.
No, of course not.
No.
The email works to a cold call. I'm
No, I
talking
like
about
that. I love that
a
idea.
stone cold call where you've just rung up, you know that the receptionist's never going to pass it on, it was bullshit. And so you send this email and I say, oh, I hope you got the message. I left the message with your receptionist and we've just got the different ones written for the different scenarios. They just pull that down and the rep has to pick one of those, hit thing, and even in the note, they can see what the email's going to say.
Yeah. This is where notes are really powerful for people who don't have access all the time to the system, who don't understand tags, who just need to be able to read this list here and go, which one do I need to pick, and they've got enough skill to be able to pick which one. And that's pretty much how we use notes, and there's all different types of notes that we've created, but for us it's all about saving clicks.
So did you create all those notes since you found out about it?
Yeah. Because they'll get the power of it. I mean, as soon as you realise the power of the time it saves, it's huge. The demonstration, this was the first one we did was demonstrations with the calendar. It was we spent so much time every day booking demonstrations, but it was countless phone calls. You'd spend 2 weeks and to finally nail down a date. And now we just send out this email and they go, Time Trade has all the opportunities and they pick which day suits them and off they go, they book it in.
Puts them in control of their own destiny, doesn't it?
Yeah, they can all go, hey John, I've got this appointment calendar in front of me. It says 5 or 6 o'clock, Monday. What do you think? He says 6 o'clock, great, bang, it's booked in. The alternative is we send an email to Jerry. Jerry has to send an email to John. That whole and we have to send out some times. Before we used to send out times saying we've got Monday at 5 and 6. How does that work? And then they'd write back after 3 days and go, that's no good for us.
On Tuesday.
Bang, and you're back to the start again. That's how trying to book an appointment goes.
Yep. In the meantime, you booked it to someone else.
Yeah.
So,
That's right. The opportunity. Well, Marissa's created opportunity movement stuff in these note templates for the things. So if somebody's in new lead and they're moving into qualified or discovery, so they just pick moving to blah blah blah, so that the actual rep doesn't have to do anything, and it sort of changes tags and it redoes stuff in the system, creates a new note, advises anybody that needs to know, sets a task for them for wherever in the future to call again in case they didn't do it themselves and all that sort of stuff. So Marissa's done a huge amount of this sort of stuff as well.
and that's what notes are for. Notes are just getting rid of those clicks, and if you can do something in 2 clicks, some of our stuff used to take 50 clicks. By the time you do add all the bits and pieces, then you can do that in 2 clicks now. That's where notes are very powerful. And
another benefit to them is, Philip was saying about it's the same as applying a tag. If you have a staff member who you give permission to apply tags, they can apply all tags. So they can apply, delete this type, this person from the CRM tag by mistake. But with note templates, they can only do that. So they can't apply the wrong tag, which triggers the wrong campaign, which sends them the wrong product information. Or worse.
I like the way that you've set them into all the proposals together, the demos together. That makes life easy, doesn't it?
yeah, it's just using that. This one here. This was a simple one. One of our products, we get inquiries from all around the world because we just seem to organically come up better than the people over in the States who invented the product, right? So we get all these inquiries from all around the world, but we just can't deal with those inquiries. So we'd have to go on. They'd come into our system, make an inquiry, then we'd have to go on, create an email to send to our supplier overseas to say, hey, we've got this inquiry and here's all the details, and you'd grab all the details and send it. Well, now it's just a note, click, and it's done. Note just looks after it all. And the customer gets a notification, the supplier, our developer gets a notification in the US. It's 2 clicks. It used to take, it's all minutes.
So what's next? What's next in your plan here?
World domination.
Well, no, but I like that idea that Linda just spoke about when a call doesn't go through, we don't sort of have that structure at the moment. But we are constantly going, well, if we're doing something repetitive in the business, if we've got to do 6 steps in Infusionsoft to do something and we do it again, then we should be asking ourselves, why can't we note it? Why can't we do something with that? Because if we're just doing repetitive, it's just a waste of time to be doing the same thing again and again. But we all do it until you discover there's another way of trying to make that. And notes are nice and easy. You don't need a consultant to come and set up a note. nothing against consultants, I love consultants, they've helped me plenty, but you know what I mean? There's levels of stuff that you can try and do yourself, and notes are something that you can have a crack at, watch a couple of videos from Infusionsoft and set them up fairly easy.
In terms of the set, what improvement in productivity do you estimate as a result of this?
I don't know the percentage, but it's just huge on the hours. It's huge. Just the time. Just this first section here is a couple of hours a day to our admin staff. We've taken away, so now they're getting more time to do other things. And so I'm getting the opportunity to create other projects that we can work on, which are future projects for things we're trying to do in Infusionsoft, because now they're not spending 2 hours a day trying to make appointments with customers. So the benefit is as ongoing. Once you create it, they get more time to do other stuff. Yeah. We're only a small company with 3 staff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You sounded like you were a huge company.
Of course.
He's a marketer.
Otherwise, people wouldn't buy from us.
He's an entrepreneur.
Otherwise, people wouldn't buy from us if they knew how small we were as far as numbers of staff go. We have a couple of people that are connected to us around the planet that help us do things, but primarily my business is 3 staff.
Okay. Is anyone else using note templates apart from Linda? Do you use it for that?
So you have all 3 staff using this as your CRM? And
This is our system that manages our customers.
Does anybody want to, either Peter or myself or Christy or somebody, show you how to set up a note template? Just a simple note template?
Yes.
Everyone interested in
Do
that?
you want to do it, Peter? or-
I can set one up.
Just do it with an email in it, because I think that those ones are really...
I wanted to say my favourite note template.
Sure.
So I apologise to anyone in the room that has got this note template, but I found after conferences and stuff I talk to heaps of people and I have the best of intentions and I never get back to them. So I wrote 2 emails with a 3-day time in between them. The first email says, hey, great to meet you, I want to give you an hour of my time. You can do whatever you want with it, I can help you with Infusionsoft, I can work through strategies, whatever. And it has a link to my time trade calendar. If they book it, the goal's achieved, they don't get another one. But if they don't book me, they get a second email saying, hey, just following up, are you sure you don't want to catch up? If you're busy, keep this and catch up with me later. But here's a link to my calendar. I think I've got like 25 opportunities out of that little note template. And I just go, I might give this to this person, or I might give some time to this person or this person and just see what comes out of it. And it's just a little note template. And I never got around to getting back to those customers before. But now I've got like a hot tub client in Maine, which is cool because I like hot tubs.
There's actually a marketplace campaign built for that, to get that.
Yeah, but it's not a note template like that. Like mine is just, I want to give you an hour of my time.
Okay.
And it's
Very basic and very
It's
effective.
literally a note
It's a
template
note
to
template.
one email with a follow-up email.
Just a note template, an email, a timer, an email, there's nothing fancy about it.
Put the lead in the CRM and then you could apply that note.
I'll just do a 20-second, it will probably take more than 20 seconds, but I'll do a fast. So I just come in and use register for an event, and we drag it over here, and I'll just click on here, and we'll go and scroll down here and apply as a note. And this can be used by any contact, because I can't change it. I'm not an Infusionsoft expert, okay? So the next thing we'll do is, from there, we'll grab the sequence, first sequence, and we'll just bring this over here. And we'll just connect those 2 up. I'll just call this...
Left message. Do the left message one.
Yeah, left message. Message. We'll just leave it as that. And in here, we just go in here and simply go, I don't like starting on this second line. Who doesn't like starting on the second line? Is that just me?
Yeah.
I can't stand, is it? Oh, sorry. Sorry. It just annoys me that...
See, but most people do straight line campaigns, not...
It's probably part of it. And now we'll just, what am I now? Send an email. So we'll send an email first. So we'll just put the email up here.
What did you do with that?
to wind up later.
It's not a straight line person, is it?
He thinks in 3 dimensions.
So we're just going to send an email, and we've got a template, so we've already created a template. One we created earlier.
You don't need to do that email.
Oh, you want me to do that? Okay.
Oh, you can if you want.
Okay.
Up to you.
Let me just go and I think it's still thinking. I'll just grab one as
Don't forget you need to put draft to ready.
I'll just go, here's the template. I'll just use that. So when you do this, you can create one from scratch, or there's one that we've just created, and it's just sitting there ready to go.
Have you not set up your branding centre?
This is the problem with presenting, you get judged.
I'm not 4 years new.
Well, I think he's probably got different headers for different.
No, I know. You can have them all pull in automatically without having to do that.
To do what? I just pull
Instead
them in.
of seeing that green Infusionsoft thing there all the time, if you set up your
Oh,
branding
okay.
centre, it automatically comes up with your stuff all the time.
Yeah, and you might have hit on something. We have about 6 banners.
Okay.
We don't have one banner, so it depends on the specific product. So that's probably why we do that extra click. I'll just go make that ready. We'll go back to sequence. So we set up the email, and then another thing you might want to do is create a telephone call. We're not creating a task. We're going to, maybe we'll just apply a note. Oh, I hate that.
I do that too.
Yeah. We might apply a note. So we'll apply a note.
I would set another task for 3 days forward in case somebody doesn't call that person back.
Create a task in 3 days' time. There we go. And off we go. So we do that. We apply a note.
Thank God.
And this one's about demonstrations. We said.
This is getting motion sickness from the campaign. Structure.
I'll just go save, and then you create your task, and then when you're done, we go there, and we go there, and we'll publish it. And you've got to name a few things as it's untitled at the moment. We'll give it a name. Message. Bit of a typo there, and then you come up and publish it. Once you publish it, that will appear in the notes in the front section against the contact, and you start to use it. Some notes took us, half an hour to build the first note, but we've used it so many times. It's very powerful, and if it's doing some of the things that Linda's talking about, where you're taking it to another level again, and in managing those phone calls and getting that automatic reminder out to email out to a customer because they didn't take your call, which happens a lot.
And then you can send an email to the user as well a day later if you didn't want to set a task.
Yeah. So many things I think you can do. It's just we've started with the areas that cause us the most pain. What was the most pain for us? It was demonstrations. Boy, it was just we spent too much time there. So that's where we started. As soon as I came home from that meeting that night, I started on the demonstrations. I knew we had to. It was the answer to a big problem. Too much time here, way too much time.
And is this normal for everybody to put them on a master, like a lot of notes like that?
Yeah, good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can't categorize them yet.
Right.
Eventually will be a feature, but it's not at the moment.
Well, we do a different campaign for each thing. So what Peter's done is put all of those onto one campaign. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas we would do one campaign called LM1, which is the first left message, and then do the thing. So it's just a 3-piece campaign. Then do another campaign for LM2. We open up a brand new
You've
campaign
got lots
for
of campaigns.
everything.
And see, we only have we have a campaign per product. So that leaves me with like 4 campaigns because I've got 4 products. And then I build all of that into that's why I've got all my stuff going around.
Well, ours are all just little campaigns, but then we have a numbering sequence for each area of the business. So if it's 1, it's one area. If it's 2.1 or 2.2 different portions of one business at the front. So and that structure goes right through from campaigns to notes to everything. So if you see a 2.2, it's any credit prospect. Do you know what I mean? So it's everything to do with everything in the campaigns. So just numbering conventions to be able to find it again. Oh, you've got those.
Yeah, so these are just them. I've just got one for each product, and there's some other ones in here I've just downloaded. You know how to have the hard bounce recovery. Oh, I downloaded that one. It came in the Infusionsoft email. Hard bounce recovery. We were having, we don't have many of them, but I think we had Shep Australia is a big pallet company here in Australia, and they wanted our solution, and they weren't getting the emails, and we get in contact and we fix up the email, but we didn't know that it was bouncing, because when you're not, I'm not just sitting there waiting for someone to bounce. I'm not looking at who's bouncing. We go back to the customer again and we pull up their details, their contact, and we give them a call. I didn't scroll down far enough to see they were bouncing. I know the thing comes up on the email address, but we missed it. We didn't see it. So we had no bounce notification. So there was a free thing you download there from Infusionsoft that helps you with bounce, and instantly now we get an email as soon as something bounces, and that was just another little time saver for sure. And important.
These hard bounces you're talking about? Or
these are they are hard bounces, I think, where it's just you've got like a letter wrong in the email address, or they're filled in, because mostly we get ours from people filling in the form, and they might have just put .com, .a, and the U's missing, and they send it off, and so it won't go. So the hard bounce one was good. Continue. I just wanted to finish with this campaign, which has nothing to do with notes, but
It's a spinning wheel.
this is just for the people that don't like the squiggles.
This is going to be spaghetti, is it?
Is that what it is? It's just having a struggle there.
Go back and start.
Go back.
When you can.
Does anyone know if they're going to organise the campaigns into like folders, or have a way so that you could tidy them up instead of having to do it alphabetically or numbering?
Can I make a suggestion that's been a great success? Is all of my clients now have a campaign that's like AAA or AA or whatever it needs to be sit right at the top of the list, and it's called a business overview. And what you do is you drag the rectangles, the sequences in, and label them for every campaign you have, and connect all your rectangles up the way that people would flow through campaigns inside your business. So you've got a bunch of black rectangles that are labelled as your campaigns are. But the cool thing is, once you've built your campaigns and published them, make that rectangle draft so it's light green, and then you can look at your business and go, well, these are all the things that I've built and are working, and these are all the gaps, and this is what I need to do next. But it also means someone else can jump in and go, I don't know how this fits in, and they can refer to that and go, oh, okay, that happens after they do whatever.
What sort of documentation do you put with that? Or is it just a visual top level?
It's just rectangles with lines, and each of them have the same label as the campaign. That's all.
Okay.
I had a similar issue with what we were doing, so I just sort of set something up in PowerPoint, basically just put all the different pages in there for the entire customer experience, from the moment that they send the lead in to the time when we install the product. And it's that's what I reference, and I just have that on the wall all the time, because otherwise I just can't figure out where I'm going with Infusionsoft. As you say, it's too difficult to visually understand what happens next.
Are you doing that in here?
No, it's just a PowerPoint.
So how are you doing the rectangles, Christy, in the campaign builder? Empty sequences.
I'll just show you.
Yeah.
Would you like to see that, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
Unless I just delete them.
But just what?
Yeah,
So you have
2 in the morning.
It's not coming up. So Richard, I can't look. I don't know. I've scared your laptop or something. It's gone out of primary. They won't bring it up. I must be sucking the gigabytes off your phone or something.
No, I just think it's the bench.
Not sure. Not sure. They should be the same as any
Yeah,
other.
do you want me to show you? Show people?
You'll have to jump on my machine though, is that okay?
You've got Vista Print as a
I've got the same.
client.
I've got the same lineage to my
5 locations.
Oh yeah. That's fine.
That's recorded.
And Vista Print in the US. Thank you, Richard. Vista, thank you. Vista Print in the US.
Yeah, we deal with them as well.
Vista Print in the US
Massachusetts.
came through our system in Australia, and then the CEO over there, the receptionist calls. My boss has told me he wants your system.
So there you're selling a franchise too, right?
Excellent.
But they deal direct all over the world. I mean, like you know, we've sold them advertisements, but we deal with their marketing manager in, is it in Boston? Yeah, Massachusetts.
I'm not sure where the marketing manager
Yeah,
is.
but their head office is in.
Yeah.
I mean, they just do direct. It's really very little bitty thing that they do.
Very shiny.
8 million sales a year or something.
Use Photoshop.
Look at you, Ale. You keep this different afloat, do you?
You know, it's created
Read out those
yeah, they have again, they've done it all wrong. I don't know how much money they make, but they've created it.
But people only ever order once.
I have to remember how much
Right stuff. Quality stuff.
Yeah.
No,
I used it at the beginning, hasn't got it. I used them at the beginning when I started out.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I'm impressed you've done so much in such a short time.
Yeah.
I get paralysed by I want to live
Unless you're a photographer, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's actually how I saw it.
Alright, if you guys want to see this, it's too trendy for me. Okay, so this is an au pair agency. I'll show you two actually. There's two clients who are really happy for me to show their stuff, so no worries about confidentiality there. Okay, these guys, this is an au pair agency. They've got families, they've got au pairs, they've got outbound girls going to England, and they've got 22 live campaigns, like probably being used every day, and they're big campaigns. So this is their business overview. The other thing is we do an API integration with a .NET matching system to match girls with families. So we've got external code coming in, and it's all just a bit of a mess.
What do you use the .NET for?
So it's a family portal
That's clean.
and an au pair portal, so they can log in and see their short list of families and au pairs. Okay, the client has touched this, so I can't vouch for how perfect it is. But basically, they say, okay, this is stage 1. Oops. And so this is not a campaign. There is nothing in these, but it's just basically this happens. Then we funnel them here. Then we have a milestone, which is deposit paid or matched, and it basically steps them through so that the girls in the office can see where everything fits in. And like Linda's convention, the numbers all link up to the same note templates, the same tag category, so it's all systematic. Because this is a massive, massive business that is all on Infusionsoft, and they just have to be systematic. Can you go that way, downriver? So it keeps going, right? But you know,
But why do you need to show them this when you've got the real one that you can show them?
because each of these is a whole campaign,
In its own right.
and each of these is probably as complicated as this diagram. So they can't understand. They, like these girls, they're not in it enough. But they can go, oh, okay, well, I know that this girl's, we're waiting for her arrival details, or we need to follow up her whatever. Where would I find that? Oh, it's after she arrives in Australia. That's how it works, right? So these are completely empty.
It's a storyboard.
It's just a story. But
Did you do this before you start? I mean, because this
No.
is
Only
this
8 months
is
after,
a
which
planning
I had,
document, right?
yeah,
that's what
let
it
me
is.
show you that then.
It's just instead of doing it on Visio.
No, but I'm
Yeah.
saying you're doing it at the end, but it would be useful for my business in the beginning if I'd mapped everything out.
You're
But
right.
that's my plan. That's what
So let me show you something else then.
Oh, these relate to lots of different campaigns.
Yeah, these are all just
I'm thinking,
campaigns.
why have got that there when you
So
can
each
just have the
sequence
real
is a
one?
campaign.
Each sequence is a campaign,
Yeah,
right? So
I
So this
understand
is-
now. Sorry.
8 months down the line, when I'd just been learning Infusionsoft, and really it was sort of everyone was learning, and we worked out that we were going to have to find a way to make it clearer, and so that was the solution. So now if I jump into a relatively new client then, and again he's like, show everyone this is amazing. He doesn't understand Infusionsoft yet. But for him, I wanted to show him, what have we done and where are we going and what's the master plan. So exactly the same thing, except a lot simpler. So we have this business overview map. See, he's only got a little baby amount of stuff. And see, he's got Infusionsoft, and he cleans pubs. So he uses GeoOpt to do the work order stuff with his contractors. So I basically said, here's your sales process and your campaigns for that. Here are your tools for your managers that are out on the road. Here is your subcontractor compliance. So when they get a new Korean cleaner, making sure they've got all the right insurance certificates and stuff. And then also some database management, so like just their cleaning processes to make sure that stuff's current. And for this guy, it's really quite simple, but he can see where everything fits in. And there are a couple of little notes. The little green things are the bits that we've done, and the black things are things that are next to be done. So he can also see a snapshot what pieces of the puzzle he's finished and what pieces of the puzzle he still needs to do. So it's just, it doesn't do anything. It's just, why do it in PowerPoint when you've got a really cool flowchart tool there, and it's all in the same spot?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I wish they told us this, It took me a year to think of this.
Because they haven't thought of it yet.
Yeah.
No,
Next year I'll be on the stage of Icon talking about business overview maps.
Is there a way to organize the campaigns, change the ID number, maybe the name? If you change the name, is it alphabetical? Or?
Yeah, so we do it like this. So we say we've got BD, which is business development, we've got admin, and we've got compliance. That's a random one.
If you click on the name ID, that will resort the list. But you can rename them, but you can't change the ID.
The ID is always unique. It's the same as tags. You can rename a tag, you can put it in a new category, but the number will always stay the same. So yeah, so that would be my hot tip, doing that.
when Infusionsoft decided to build the campaign builder feature, what you just did then, they visualised everyone to start off like that. Like you're saying, Philip, that was part of the plan. Start when you design, do it this way first, then build down. I don't know if anyone does that, but that was the original.
Particularly, so I think instinct is to start left to right, and I think that's a
It
mistake.
is,
You're
isn't it?
starting with that's most inefficient and fixing it, and then
But Infusionsoft didn't used to have the campaign builder 2.5 years ago, and it was just nothing visual. So when you were using Legacy, you were building all of these things to happen. So you used to actually have to draw it out like this.
So if anybody ever asks, this is the reason why Infusionsoft is better than other people.
It's evolved.
Because you can't do this one. You have to write every step down and have a picture on your wall that says, it's fine, business.
I don't think Salesforce ever does this.
no, I'm sure it's the same total.
And expensive.
Yes.
Were you going to ask something?
Well, I've just got a question still in relation to the node templates.
Sure.
How do you delete the node template? You can't, because I've got a few different and they all
Just
multiple.
jump on online chat and say, can you please delete this?
Yeah.
So
They'll figure it out for you, but you can't do it.
they'll do it for.
Yeah.
What,
me.
delete a node template?
Yeah.
If you delete a node template from the campaign builder after it's been published, you'll still see it in your list of node templates, even though it doesn't exist in your campaign anymore. You can also see it. You can find it. I've occasionally found it in marketing templates.
No.
And sometimes you delete it there and it'll delete it, but other times not. It's a funny bug. Make it their problem.
Under
It doesn't come
templates,
up
that's
with
where we build them. Is node templates are all built under marketing templates, and then have you ever done those?
Yeah.
Where you whack actions on the back end. They're fast and quick.
They still
And-
do things that the campaign builder won't do as
Well,
well.
it's based on Legacy, but it's still there to use.
I think the thing is,
That's stuff on the fly.
because you do everything with node templates in the campaign builder, I find that my clients come to me with bloody foreigns trying to find a node template if I didn't build it in campaign builder. So I just everything goes in campaign builder. But I there is a method to your madness. Absolutely.
Thanks, Kristen. 5 minutes break and we can start.
What's your
Oh,
So that's annoying because that's part of my I need to
Just for the phone,